In the early 1900s, Philadelphia faced recurring outbreaks of typhoid fever due to poor sanitation and water contamination. Photographs from the time show children playing near open sewers, horse-drawn carts beside waste-filled streets, and makeshift quarantine signs. These haunting street scenes reflect the city's struggle with disease before the widespread adoption of modern sanitation. The crisis eventually led to major public health reforms, including filtered water systems, helping Philadelphia become one of the first major U.S. cities to modernize its public health infrastructure. The Liberty Loan Parade held in Philadelphia on September 28, 1918, is now infamous. Despite warnings from health experts, the city hosted a large parade to support World War I funding. Within 72 hours, every hospital bed in the city was full. Images show mass graves, overwhelmed hospitals, and empty streets after thousands died within weeks. The event remains one of the deadliest public health failures in U.S. history, and photographs capture both the tragedy and the eerie silence that followed. In May 1985, the Philadelphia police dropped a bomb on a residential home occupied by the Black Liberation Group MOVE. The resulting fire killed 11 people, including 5 children, and destroyed over 60 homes in the Cobbs Creek neighborhood. Photos of the charred rubble, burnt-out row houses, and stunned residents remain shocking. The incident is one of the only times an American city government has bombed its own citizens, and the images remain powerful symbols of racial tension and government overreach. During the industrial boom, Philadelphia became a manufacturing giant, but at a human cost. Rare photographs from the early 1900s reveal overcrowded tenements, polluted alleys, and struggling families in Kensington and Southwark. These slums were often adjacent to noisy factories, lacking basic utilities. Children played among trash heaps while laborers returned exhausted from textile or chemical plants. The images underscore the human toll of rapid industrialization, which spurred later labor reforms and urban redevelopment. Eastern State Penitentiary was revolutionary for its time, focusing on rehabilitation through solitary confinement. But by the 1930s, the model had failed. Rare photos show inmates in outdated cells, overcrowded hallways, and under heavy surveillance. The infamous prison, once home to Al Capone, had become a symbol of isolation and despair. These images provide insight into prison reform debates of the era, capturing the grim realities behind its fortress-like stone walls. During World War I, thousands of Philadelphia women took up jobs in munitions factories, replacing the men who had gone to war. These rarely seen photos show women in overalls working with explosives, assembling ammunition, and handling dangerous chemicals with minimal safety gear. Many suffered long-term health issues, but their work was crucial to the war effort. These images are a tribute to their bravery and the pivotal role women played in reshaping the wartime workforce. South Philadelphia was a vibrant center of African-American life in the 1940s. Rare images showcase bustling street corners, jazz musicians performing on sidewalks, and black-owned businesses thriving despite systemic racism. These photos provide a glimpse into a close-knit community that developed rich cultural traditions and strong civic institutions. They also reveal the economic and social challenges faced during segregation, making them powerful visual records of resilience and identity. Aerial photographs of Philadelphia in the 1940s are rare, capturing the city before the skyscraper boom. The images show a dense grid of row houses, church steeples piercing the skyline, and the Schuylkill River winding through industrial zones. Key landmarks like City Hall and the PSFS building dominate the skyline. These snapshots offer a frozen-in-time look at pre-modern urban landscape, providing valuable reference for architectural historians and city planners alike. As Philadelphia expanded its public transportation system, trolley cars became ubiquitous, but accidents were frequent. Shocking photos from the early 20th century show overturned trolleys, injured pedestrians, and crowds gathered around mangled tracks. These incidents highlighted the need for better regulation and safety protocols. The images serve as a somber reminder of the growing pains of modernization and the hidden costs of early technological adoption in urban areas. During the Vietnam War, Philadelphia was a hotbed for anti-war sentiment. One iconic series of images shows protesters at Independence Hall, holding signs, burning draft cards, and facing off against police. These photos juxtapose the nation's founding ideals with civil unrest, symbolizing the country's internal divisions. The backdrop of Independence Hall adds a poignant contrast to the activism, emphasizing the protesters' calls for peace and justice as patriotic rather than rebellious. Photos taken by Lewis Hine in 1908 exposed the grim reality of child labor in Philadelphia's textile mills. Young boys and girls, some as young as 7, worked long hours in dangerous conditions, dressed in rags and often barefoot. Their tired eyes reflect the cost of industrial growth. These photos helped fuel labor reform in the United States, eventually leading to child labor laws. They remain a haunting testament to exploitation during the Industrial Age. Opened in 1874, the Philadelphia Zoo was America's first. Early photographs show camels, lions, and giraffes newly arrived in wooden crates, surrounded by curious Victorian spectators. Zookeepers in formal dress pose beside exotic animals with minimal enclosures. These fascinating photos highlight early attitudes toward animal exhibition, colonialism, and the scientific curiosity of the era. While awe-inspiring, they also reveal the stark contrast with modern animal care ethics and conservation-focused zoo management. After Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, Philadelphia erupted in grief and anger. Rare images show looted storefronts, clashes between residents and National Guardsmen, and smoke rising from key neighborhoods. North Philadelphia was especially affected. The images are emotionally charged, capturing despair, rage, and resistance. They serve as stark documentation of systemic racial injustice and the volatility of the civil rights era, while also reflecting a community's cry for justice and recognition. During construction projects in Center City, workers have unearthed colonial-era burial grounds. Photos show human remains, coffin nails, and centuries-old artifacts being carefully excavated. These discoveries shed light on early settler life, disease outbreaks, and burial customs, often forgotten beneath modern development. These graves reconnect the living city with its colonial roots. The images highlight the tension between progress and preservation, prompting reflection on how we honor the past in a rapidly changing urban landscape. During the 1920s, Philadelphia was home to hundreds of speakeasies, illegal bars hidden in basements, back rooms, or behind barber shops. Rare photographs show hidden entrances, smugglers, and seized liquor barrels. The city had one of the highest alcohol-related crime rates during Prohibition. These images provide a window into a time of social rebellion, jazz, and underworld activity. They reflect the cultural resistance to moral legislation and the birth of a uniquely American nightlife culture. In 1944, a massive explosion rocked the Hog Island shipyard, one of the busiest military production sites during World War II. The blast killed several workers and caused widespread panic. Photos show twisted metal, destroyed scaffolding, and emergency crews amid the chaos. The cause was linked to munitions mishandling. These haunting images reveal the high-risk conditions faced by wartime laborers and underscore the urgency that often led to deadly shortcuts in the race to supply the war effort. The construction of the Benjamin Franklin Bridge was a feat of engineering. Rare photos from the 1920s show workers balancing on high beams, massive steel components being lifted into place, and early cars preparing for the first crossing. Originally called the Delaware River Bridge, it was one of the longest suspension bridges of its time. These images capture a spirit of innovation and confidence in American infrastructure during the post-World War I boom. In 1965, civil rights activists staged a prolonged protest at Girard College, a school that refused to admit black students despite being publicly funded. Powerful photographs show black leaders like Cecil B. Moore leading chants at the gates, facing down police lines. The protest lasted over 7 months, leading to federal intervention and desegregation in 1968. These images document a local but nationally significant battle in the fight for educational equality and civil rights.